Hello. So this is one of the most requested tutorials that I do, and it is, as the title says, how to draw clothes folds. But keep in mind that this is the lazy way and this is my way. So let me just give you some background. So this is how I used to draw clothes. I was unsure where the wrinkles were, so I would just I don't know, just spew them all over the place and it wouldn't make any sense. Like, why would there be a wrinkle here and etc.? So, the thing to keep in mind is that I base all of my wrinkles around the armpit. So, you know where the armpit is? Let's just draw one side of a person's body. Okay. So, here is the armpit. And let's just make this a female just for fun. Okay, so here's a very quick, vague sketch. So here's where the armpit is. So you know where the armpit is that's where all of the clothes is kind of like wrinkled together and compressed together, kind of like here. Let me just show you a drawing. So kind of like this, like that, or like that, as you can see here. So I base all of my wrinkles around there. So for here, know that it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're just starting out, just practice with a couple of squiggles here and there. Like you make, let's say this is a fabric. Fabric kind of folds over your body. So you're going to want to just make some wrinkles here and there. Just not too much. Don't make it like this where, you just add a ton of them and it doesn't make sense. So if you're just starting, just add a few here and there. Just make sure that some of them kind of have this line here where it wrinkles, folds in, but don't make anything too much like this. Just do the absolute minimum. That's what I like, because I'm lazy, and because clothes are just so complicated. You could go online on Google and look at some resources, but honestly, real life wrinkles are much different from what you need for anime or manga style drawings. So then you can just make a few small lines here. Don't make more than like 3 lines like this. This is just to show that the clothes is being pinched into the armpit, because as you know, the armpit is a pit and it will hold a ton of fabric there, and just like pinch it. Like if you're gonna pinch something, you're gonna have to make lines that make it look like it's being pinched. So anyhow, a lot of clothing have this little seam right here, so you can just put that in, whatever. And on the outside, I mean, sorry, I have a little frog in my throat currently, so on the outside, you can also make little kind of, I don't know, marks like that as well. Just don't go overboard with it. And near the elbow, there's not really going to be much, so I just make a few of these little marks here and there, and then it looks like clothes. That's the lazy way. Lazy way. There. Lazy. So, then continuing farther. See, I barely did anything, and it looks like it's, I don't know, I tried and knew where the wrinkles are. No, I don't. I just put the absolute minimum wrinkles in there, because if you tried too hard and you added like every single wrinkle like where it's supposed to be, like it's gonna look overdone, or it's just not gonna look right. See, if I added like I could add some right here, because with wrinkles in clothes, it's hard to describe if you're just beginning, but it kind of, there are grooves where it folds in and out. And I don't really have anything here right now to show you. Maybe I could use this napkin. Let's try and use this napkin. So, I'm folding it. So, you see this right here? So, it's being pinched right here. And this is normally where, let's say, like a seam or something is. And then you have this part coming out and then the inside. So, this is technically what fabric does all over the place. And you can actually do this for skirts, because skirts often look like this. So, you don't have to add that if you're just starting. Like this portion, you can just totally leave it out. unless you're going to be like a fashion person who's going to be drawing a lot of clothes, then don't really worry much about the wrinkles. So then continuing here, this is where the hip is, and usually where the hip is, it's more tighter around there, so it's going to be kind of pinching, like both sides of the hips are going to be kind of pinching, because if you are a female, then you will know that when you wear shirts, like tight shirts especially, it's tighter around the waist. So you can just add a few very small lines here and there, and that should do it. And if you're drawing a woman and this is a tight shirt, then let's see, just draw the boobs. It's great to have some previous knowledge of anatomy before you start really drawing clothes also, which is handy. So let's just say, you know, here are boobs, like whatever. So if it's going to be tight, then again with the pinching notion, you just add a few little lines here and there. And I like to add these little lines to show that it's tight. Let me show you the drawing from before again. So here, this one's not as tight because I added these here, but let me try and find one. Yeah, here. Here, the fabric is a little bit tighter around where her breasts are, so you're just going to make little tiny, very fine lines, just indicating that, you know, this part is being kind of pulled. Or you could also use it for, you know, just to make it seem like it's flowing over. Because over here, I didn't add that because this one's extra tight, so you're not going to see any of those little fine lines. And make sure you don't add a lot. Like, the thing with clothing, I feel, is that less is more. So anyhow, this is just a regular shirt, and we're pretty much done. You don't even have to add these lines, to be honest. Just make some little tight lines there. So, also, you can make a line right here where the breasts are, where that groove is in the middle, because, you know, that's where the shirt is going to kind of fall into. So you can do that, and this is indicating the bottom if it's an extra tight shirt. And an important thing is to never do this. So let's say there's a t-shirt, and we're drawing a female again. Okay, so never do this, like make... Okay, these are actually very large breasts, I'm aware, but it's easier to show you guys what I mean if we're talking about, you know, bigger stuff. So, never, and I mean never, like, make like a groove like that. Like, no, just no. Like, shirts don't work like that. Shirts do not just tuck. This looks like the shirt is tucking under the breast. Like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to flow right over. So that's a no-no. So a way to correct this is just to erase that and make a few little pinch marks. And honestly, that is it. That's all you have to do. That's it. Make a little pinching indication where the armpit is, and right there. So now for flowing clothes that flows over. Let me show you that drawing again. So she has clothes that flows over, so you obviously can't see the majority of her breasts. Not that, like, you know, maybe she doesn't have very large ones, but whatever. So here, it's more defined here, where you can see the outline more clearly. But here, it kind of just flows over. So the thing with flowing over is that, again, with the laziness, just don't work so hard with the wrinkles. So let me draw this t-shirt again, but in a larger size. So here's the breast, blah, blah. And, okay, so all you have to do is make the indication at the top of the breast, like the size, if you really want to make it prominent. So, you know, just make the indication at the top. And then after that, just kind of go inward with it. So now it looks like it's a flowing t-shirt already. It's not form-fitting. That's what I'm trying to get at here. And normally I recommend drawing the whole body first before before you add clothes, because that is just, it's easier that way instead of like just coming out and drawing it like this and then adding everything else. That's too complicated and too much work, especially if you're lazy. So that's all you really have to do. Just make sure that you don't really make, you don't like pronounce, not pronounce, but you don't emphasize the actual shape of the body. And that you just kind of go over it like this. And then, you know, you just make these little wrinkles, like very big wrinkles, indicating that there is extra fabric just flowing over instead of tightly adhering to the body. So that's honestly pretty much it, like, just for shirts anyway. I don't want to make this video too long. It's already at like 11 minutes. So now I'm just going to go on to skirts because that's one of the most asked for things. So just remember again for this, just do the most minimal possible. Like, don't leave it looking completely blank, but add a few here and there just to make it look a little bit more realistic. Of course, it's not going to be realistic, but that's just, I don't know the technique for it, like, to be lazy. So lazy people find the easiest way to do things because they're lazy. So also another thing that I like to do, it's not completely correct, but I like to add a few little wrinkles here at the top right here because it seems like it's pinching inwards toward the armpit as well. So you can do that too. But that's honestly all I go by when I'm drawing my wrinkles. So anyhow, let's go on to skirts. So there are many different types of skirts, and I actually think Bailey J has a tutorial on drawing skirts and how they flow. But the most common skirt that I like to draw is, okay, let's just use the side of the skirt, and it's kind of like what I was talking about with the napkin before. Like, the fabric drapes over, so let's say if it's a flowing skirt, you're going to see underneath the skirt, kind of like that. And it's pinching at the top. So this is what you're going to try and achieve. So here, so just imagine that this is fabric. So this is the top of the fabric, and it curves inwards, like that. So just try making an S-type shape. At the beginning, it's going to look stiff because you're not used to drawing this, but as you practice some more, or if you just go with the flow and just, like, make a ton of them, like, bleh, you could even just make a skirt out of that. And let me just verify how. So here is the top of the skirt. So if it's going to be folding, you're going to make a line right here where the curve is to indicate that there's fabric right there that is being pinched in. So let's say this is the top of a skirt, like let's say a school skirt or something. This is where it's going to be pinched. And you can make, like, throughout the whole skirt, you can make various little tiny lines here and there showing that it's being pinched. Like so. So then here, this is the bottom of the skirt. So you can't just leave it like that because where's the rest of the fabric? So you would have to kind of follow the direction of this line and that line and draw that. So this is the bottom of the fabric. So again, with the tissue or the napkin analogy, this part right here would be this part here. So if you get what I'm saying, yeah. And then you just proceed to do that for the rest of the skirt. So if you're just practicing, just make a ton of those until you get it right. So here I'm making another one. But this one doesn't have this side over here. So with these ones, it's just a flat curve. And you can just make a line at the top just indicating that, you know, there could be something there. Like, if you wanted to be very technical about it and come out of the lazy stage, you can just do that. And then it looks like there's a space right there, so you would just shade that. And pretty much it for fabric. And over here, let me just make some quick little This is just to show you how you can make this into a skirt. So, it's kind of like drapes where it just folds over one another. So there you are. You have to really be able to imagine it. So get yourself a napkin and fold it up like this. That could help. So, sorry, my throat is getting scratchy. So, that's for this type of skirt, the very flowy skirt. And then for the school skirt, this is what I do. So let me just draw the hem. Well, this isn't the hem. This is just the part where everything comes out. I don't know. So, that part. And then from here, I technically do the same thing, except I make everything sharper. So, kind of like this. It's easier to draw this, I feel, because it's sharper. You don't have to really stick with the flowiness. So here, for school skirts, this is all you really gotta do. So this is the part that shows up, and well, this is the part that's underneath. So this part would be here on the flowy fabric. This is just, these skirts are plated, so you have to keep in mind that they are not going to be as flowy. You can make them flowy, kind of like, just make sure you keep the, sorry again, you gotta keep the pointiness of the wrinkles. And then another thing that makes it look a lot better is to add these little marks right here, these little triangles in between to show that there is a part of the skirt inside. And I usually color in these triangles just to make it easier for myself. And this is normally where you would shade it. So that's pretty much it for the tutorial, and I hope this enlightened you somewhat and taught you my easy way, or my lazy way, of drawing wrinkles. It's not complicated at all. I hope not. And that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video. And please excuse my constant clearing my throat and etc. Bye!